This story takes place in Waukesha, a western suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. With a population of around 70,000, this is considered a small city and is the 7th most populous in the state of Wisconsin. Not a very diverse city, 4 out of 5 of Waukesha's residents are white, and as far as employment in the city, the biggest employers are in healthcare, education, civil service, or the energy sectors. It's arguably a fairly uneventful and wholesome city. It's not particularly dangerous. The crime rate there is close to the American average, meaning that your chance of becoming a victim of crime in Waukesha is 1 in 92. But that's not to say that there haven't been dark tragedies there. In 2014, an incident that went on to be known as the Slender Man stabbing saw 2 12-year-olds lure another girl into the woods, stabbing her 19 times in an apparent attempt to appease the fictional internet horror character the Slender Man. With that being one of the most notable crimes in Waukesha history, overall, it's a fairly quaint city with a wholesome vibe. Good people doing good things, like Monday night movies in the park, jazz bands and music nights, and even fun runs with the local police department, and of course, the annual Christmas parade that takes place yearly downtown. This had been enjoyed by residents for decades. Vince Condella documented the wholesome vibes of the 2009 parade in a video on his YouTube channel.
You gotta watch yourself so you don't get poked there, huh?
That's right.
Rudy, you're looking good, bud.
Once the parade began, my job was easy. I get to wave, smile, and ride in the back of a cool car. Thanks to the great people of Waukesha for a wonderful parade.
A YouTuber named Ralph Powers would document the 2011 parade in a grainy video on his channel too.
Merry Christmas, home ladies, gentlemen! You get to get hot in here.
Ralph would be a frequent visitor to the parade, making a much more watchable vlog during his visit in 2019 that captured the vibes. Unfortunately, the 2020 parade was cancelled due to the global pandemic, with the news playfully claiming that the COVID Grinch had stolen the city's Christmas parade that year, and announcing that the 58th parade would be moved to 2021 and would still go ahead on November the 21st the following year. But unfortunately, nobody could have prepared for just how tragic the following year's events would be. The theme of the 2021 Waukesha Christmas Parade was comfort and joy. The event would commence on November the 21st, 2021, and it would be live streamed for those who couldn't go. And attendees would live stream the early events, typical of the Christmas parades of previous years. However, at some point during this live stream, something strange would happen, as a red SUV would seemingly speed past the crowd, being followed by a police car. The car was a red 2010 Ford Escape SUV, and at around 4:39 PM, this car would smash through the barriers around the parade, traveling at around 40 miles per hour. A police officer attempted to get the driver to stop by banging on the hood of the SUV with no effect. Witnesses described the driver as calm and composed as they began to drive at people involved in the parade. One viral video would circulate showing the car driving towards the crowds at speed, narrowly missing a small child. Another clip shown on the news would show the car continuing to speed into the crowd, along with audio of calls to the police about this dangerous driver.
Maroon Ford Escape just blew by White Rocket Hartwell heading into the parade route. My Escape, black male, I couldn't stop it. He's going westbound, blowing his horn.
Man in Barstow, man in Gaspar.
We have multiple casualties. Man in Gaspar, we need multiple 1052s.
Someone live streaming this would then pan the camera around to reveal the SUV plowing into the crowd at speed as people screamed. An amateur video from a high vantage point would capture the chilling moment when the red SUV plowed into the marching band and packed crowd. The car is then seen briefly in the back of another video, filmed amongst a packed crowd, as the driver was apparently using a zigzag pattern to hit as many people as possible. After this, a man named Jordan Woynilko, who had just stepped out of a bar on Main Street facing the parade route, began filming the devastation that was left following the attack. Bodies were laid out in the street as panicked members of the public and law enforcement frantically tried to provide first aid and get things under control.
You okay? You good? No, there's it was a red Jeep too, a red SUV.
That they hit it, like when they were driving, there was old people that were in front of them.
Really? They were in the parade? I mean,
yeah, it was old ladies. The last people to walk past, like the last, people in the parade, it was like, it was like the dancing ladies or something.
Oh.
It was like old ladies dancing.
Oh
and
my
they
God.
just plowed through, like probably like 60-year-old women.
it was the end of the parade, and they came up from at the end of it, like
I don't know if
behind
it was the end or all that were like part of the parade.
Okay. Because I mean, like, how would he even get in the parade? You know, if he was there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Meanwhile, the ramming rampage continued, and one amateur video would capture the SUV ploughing forward just moments before a senior citizen dance group called the Dancing Grannies was struck en masse, and another angle seemingly after this showed the car ploughing at an alarming speed into a large group of female dancers waving pom-poms. Another officer even opened fire in an attempt to stop the car as it broke through more barriers, but this was also unsuccessful. Jodie Singh-Sim and her teenage son were interviewed by Reuters News and would give a moving account as well as sharing clips captured from the scene in the immediate aftermath of the attack.
As I looked over, I started to hear a lot of screaming and just saw a red SUV coming towards us. So all I could think of was to get my family back. And as we were getting back, I heard and saw the people being hit, but what you could do more than seeing is hearing, and just that sound was insane. So we got back towards the building we were standing in front of, and as he went by, it was like everybody keeps saying it was just kind of slow motion.
Somebody literally drove by right in front of us, hit a whole crowd of kids.
Just people?
Yeah, there was kids involved though.
Okay.
My mom was trying to help one of them. One of the kids was turning purple and there's blood everywhere.
A man would describe seeing the car plow through the parade and his daughter's marching band.
Yeah, we were in front of All Out Chocolat. We were just watching the parade. We had my sister-in-laws in it. We knew a lot of people. Mainly there to see my daughter who was in the South band, and we just were standing there when he turned off a bar straw under the street, and we were the first the first group of people that he hit was right in front of us, and people were just in shock and screaming and in terror as he just drove down the street with no intent to stop.
So your daughter, tell me that again, your daughter was in the...
Yeah, she was marching in the band.
What band?
South. Waukesha South High School marching band, yeah.
And you saw him hit your daughter's band? Or?
Yeah, he drove right through the band. There were like 8 people that got hit in the band.
What's their condition?
They're all fine. He didn't kill anybody in our group, fortunately, but I mean, it's the best of the worst, right? So
a Fox 6 News report would share that the car was later found wrecked, showing a picture of it.
The car was later found not far away, abandoned in a backyard off of Maple.
A breakdown of this series of deadly events would later circulate in the media, and tragically, 5 people were confirmed dead immediately after the ramming. 52-year-old Tamara Durand, 81-year-old Wilhelm Hospel, 52-year-old Jane Kulik, 71-year-old Leanna Lee Owen, 79-year-old Virginia Ginny Sorensen. 4 were members of the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies, a wholesome dance group composed solely of grandmothers. The group would release a status update on Facebook after the incident, mourning the loss of their members. They would be profiled on a CNN news piece with their affiliate channel WDJT that released after the murders took place, and showed an interview with 2 of the victims before they passed away.
We all truly, I think, love each other too. We're like sisters.
I love it, and I love the ladies, and they're my family. They're my friends.
Can you keep up, Lee? Can you keep up with the group?
Oh, you bet I can. Yeah. I'm encouraging them. Come on, come on. It was a jazzercise group, and the women wanted a little more, so somehow they got into this.
You're all in sync. I told you, just like the Rockettes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
She's like the heart and soul, honest to God.
The group would comment on the tragic loss on TMJ4 News, who had been covering the group for years before this happened.
The Milwaukee Dancing Grannies was founded nearly 4 decades ago. Here's some file video of the group when we covered a story about them 5 years ago. The Milwaukee Dancing Grannies say their group was doing what they love to do most, performing in front of a parade crowd and putting smiles on faces of all ages until the unimaginable happened. 4 of their members were struck by the SUV and died from their injuries. This is a group that typically performs in about 25 parades each year. The only requirement to join is you have to be a grandmother. The group's former director tells me their volunteer who died, Wilhelm, helped keep the team hydrated and often carried their banner in parades. The Milwaukee Dancing Grannies posted on their Facebook page today. It reads in part, Those who died were extremely passionate grannies. Their eyes gleamed joy of being a granny. They were the glue that held us together. Our hearts are heavy at this most difficult time.
When the dust settled, in addition to those 5 people losing their lives at the scene, 48 others were reported injured right after the incident. 16 of those reported injured initially were children who were treated at the Wisconsin Children's Hospital, and 3 remained in hospital at Children's Wisconsin for an extended period. And one 8-year-old named Jordan Sparks unfortunately lost their life, with the death toll being increased to 6 2 days later. In the end, the toll of the injured rose to 62, with 6 people losing their lives. And as the dust settled on this senseless and brutal attack, the big question that was on the minds of Waukesha residents was who was the heartless monster that would do such a thing to such a wholesome and innocent group of people. Unfortunately, it would take less than a day for the authorities to identify that monster as Darrell Brooks.